Happy the place, but happier still the heart where Christ is born, the heart which he vouchsafes to fill, need neither sin or mourn. No city could with Bethlehem share the honor of his birth, but every soul by faith may bear the Lord of heaven and earth. But every soul by faith may bear the Lord of heaven and
During Advent, the busyness of our lives is magnified by many obligations layered upon our already hectic schedules. Work parties, family gatherings, shopping, cooking, even church activities. All of it can get to be too much. Duty and obligation can be real joy killers if we let them take over. I suspect you can remember a time when you were required to do something pressing at a highly inconvenient moment. Perhaps you were tempted to try to get out of it. Or maybe you just gritted your teeth and did it anyway. The Roman government decreed that all citizens be registered, and Mary and Joseph complied. No excuses. They were required to travel to Bethlehem to register for the census, even though Mary was due to give birth soon. The decree had to be obeyed. Hear Luke's account of that call and response, found in chapter 2. In those days, a decree went out from Emperor Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in bands of cloth and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn. As you hear Passion Lewis's story of duty and obligation, think about how you might respond to God's call, no matter what is happening in your own life.
Responsibility. It can be a heavy burden, a duty, an obligation, a liability for which someone is responsible. I'm remembering a time when I was 20 years old, and I was the oldest at home out of 12 children. I had 2 older brothers and 2 older sisters who had their own home and family away. And I was working at Birmingham Country Club, and one Sunday morning, my mother took sick while at church. She was non-responsive. There was no heartbeat, no pulse, but someone was there who brought her back. When the paramedics came, they took her to the hospital, UAB hospital, which was then Hillman Hospital. And during that time, she was in the hospital from the Sunday after Thanksgiving of 1970 until December the 17th of 1970, when she went home to be with the Lord. And she left me with 7 sisters and brothers that I had to take care of. Now here I am, 20 years old. I don't know what I'm doing. Now keep in mind, I don't make enough money to take care of myself and 7 other people. So the Lord just gave me a way of doing that. I just got advice from people at Birmingham Country Club who were members, who knew my situation, and they told me what to do. They guided me along on what to do and how to get to where I needed to be so that I could take care of my sisters and brothers. And being responsible can be very hard, especially when your mother has passed away. The person who you confided in, who was your help in everything, and the person who knew all about you, who you relied on, and then they're gone and you're left all alone with the responsibility. You have no idea what to do. I'm afraid, I'm apprehensive. I don't know which way to turn. But the Lord gave me grace and showed me what to do. Now, Mary and Joseph had the same thing. They were given the responsibility of the Savior of the world. They had to nurture Jesus and bring him up until he went into his ministry. God knew what he was doing. And sometimes we have to listen to the voice of God when he's always, really, we need to listen to the voice of God when he's talking to us. He is our guide. He's our leader. He shows us what we need to do, when we need to do it, and how we need to do it. He knows what he wants done. We let him lead and we follow. Mary and Joseph took their responsibility to heart and they followed as God led them. They didn't complain. They did not argue. They didn't question. They did what they were told to do. And that's what I did in the instance with my sisters and brothers. And up until the age of 28, I took care of my sisters and brothers. Then I met my husband and married him, and my older sister, who her children were out of her home at the time, they had grown up, she took over, and I was able to live the life that the Lord told me to do. We have to live in the world that we're called to. I was called to a world of being responsible for my sisters and brothers. Mary and Joseph were called to be responsible for Jesus, the Son of the living God. And they were called to go to Bethlehem for the census. They didn't hesitate. They responded to that call without question. We sometimes think that it was inconvenient, but not for them, because we know that they left and they did what they had to do. The key in this for me was it showed me what God wanted me to do, because all of my life I've been taking care of kids. I now operate a nonprofit, which is called Dream Garden, for children and youth. And I take care of a lot of children that are not my own. But that's what God was getting me ready for when he left me with 7 sisters and brothers to take care of.